Hey, what's up and how's it going? My name is Toby, and in today's video I want to give you guys an overview of AR tools and ways to develop for augmented reality, because there are many options that you can choose from depending on what kind of projects you want to build. Should be gaming, something for marketing, educational stuff. So there are a bunch of tools out there, and in today's video I want to give you guys an overview so that if you have an idea on what to build, you'll then know which tool might be suitable for that. I want to get started with social-centric AR tools. So the ones that are mostly within a specific social media and are designed basically to create AR effects or AR filters. And one of the most known ones is Effect House. So Effect House is from TikTok. And basically, it's not only for augmented reality, but I would say AR is a pretty big part of this tool set. And you can, as you can already see, do some pretty cool effects. So it supports world effects, where you just put objects in your scene. And I also actually created a tutorial on this. So if you're interested in that, well, in this tutorial, we'll basically have this little rabbit running around here in our scene. With augmented reality, and you can already also see down here that it works with this kind of node system, so it does not have or does not require programming, which is an advantage, at least for some people maybe who are not so much into programming. And so you can use this node system, which makes it a lot easier to get started. And it also, of course, has face filters, so you can put something in your face and it will be tracked. And it also has what I want to call human AR, so it also tracks your hands, for example. So we got this one here. I also made a tutorial on that. Let's quickly see, where it basically will track your hand movement, and you could have some kind of object being shown here. So this, of course, will only work inside of TikTok, right? So if you want to build with the Effect House, then the advantages are definitely it's easy to make and even more easier to share. So you can pretty much share this instantly with anyone else who has TikTok installed. But then, of course, it's only a TikTok filter, if you want to say so. So there's no option to use it outside of the app, and anyone who doesn't have TikTok installed won't see it. And of course, it's also not possible to make it as or create a product for yourself, right? So if you want to have some kind of product, like an app that you want to sell or that you want to distribute, this is not possible with Effect House. So you got to know that. But overall, it's still a quite solid tool, and it can make a lot of fun to just use it. So yeah, that's Effect House. And if you are interested in how to get started, I do have a few tutorials on using Effect House. One thing you also need to keep in mind is that while you can create a lot of things, it is definitely limited by the file size. So it's about 5 megabytes that your whole effect can be. So you also won't be able to create some kind of big game or some, very extended AR experience. So this is also something to keep in mind. All right, so that's for Effect House. And then there's Snap AR. So when I first saw Snap AR, I first thought it would be the same thing that Effect House does, so creating filters for Snapchat. But it's actually a bit more sophisticated than this, because it allows, first of all, it has some more features in a way that it allows actually to do programming. So you can do, if you're, for example, a web developer, if you know JavaScript, this one works with JavaScript, and it has this Lens Studio, which allows you to build, of course, for Snapchat filters, but it will also allow you to create an AR experience that can be integrated into a normal iOS or Android app. And it's even optimized for AR glasses. As far as I know, it's not optimized for Quest or the Vision Pro, for example, but for Snapchat's own AR glasses, So let me quickly take a look if I find those here. You can see this is called Camera Kit, and it basically will allow you to bring the Snapchat filters that would usually be within the app to any kind of iOS or Android app that you might build with Xcode or with Android Studio. So this is quite cool. I'm not sure though if it would work with something like React Native, so some kind of, multi-platform framework, if you want to say so. But overall it has pretty solid effects, and this also has body tracking, face tracking, world tracking, so very similar, and I think even a bit more advanced than what TikTok has to offer. It even has, and this is quite cool, location-based AR, so this is something that you would usually know from other frameworks like Niantic's Lightship, or for example from Google's Geospatial API with Google Maps, that you can build a AR experience that only works and integrates into a specific location. So it's pretty cool, and I've personally just did a little bit of testing with Snap AR. And I think the glasses, yes, this is the glasses that you can build for, which are the spectacles. So this is actually looking quite cool. I think it's not out yet, but it is fully working AR glasses, as you can see. And this one works with the Lens Studio. So this is something that's also quite cool in comparison to the Effect House, that you can build actual AR experiences for this glass. And I also found this little demo video here. So this is already looking quite cool, especially as you do not have some kind of screen in your face that you would have just with a normal XR glass, but you can actually see the actual real environment, and then have the AR effects laying in there. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. It's one of the more exciting AR glasses that I've seen so far. So also the hand tracking looks to be quite fine. So this is also something that is definitely quite cool. So yeah, that's Lens Studio. So it's a bit more sophisticated, and what I really like about it is that you can integrate it well into your just standard iOS or Android app, and that's also compatible with AR glasses. So this is quite cool. What I also like about these tools from Snapchat is that since they are a bit more open and a bit more techy, you could say, that they allow for more utilities and more use cases than maybe just entertainment. So for example, you can see here some way to translate sign language, or this is a way that explains you how a microwave works, right? So you have entertainment, utility, also in a way of shopping. This is quite interesting. So for example, if you do some kind of marketing, if you want to do shopping, that is actually a very nice tool that will also, as far as I know, integrate basically a way to then test out some kind of product, let's say, so purses in this case, and then immediately purchase those. So this is actually something I find quite cool and interesting about augmented reality, which can also be a way for marketing or for e-commerce to basically immediately test out products and to improve the overall shopping experience of users. This is something that I'm, as a potential customer, looking forward to. If you ever want to, try out some kind of clothing or whatever, then there's always this hit or miss when you order something online. So quite cool. All right, so then next up, let's talk about Web AR. And Web AR is, as the name already says, it doesn't require any kind of download. So it's basically running immediately in your web browser. And if you want to take a look on how this works, so this, for example, is Eighth Wall, and Eighth Wall is belonging to Niantic, which also do Lightship, that I'll talk a bit about later on. And they've recently published or released their Eighth Wall Studio, which is a web AR editor. And this one will allow you to basically build any kind of AR experience immediately in the web. And it's much more of an engine as, for example, Unity or Unreal is, compared to what we just saw maybe with the Effect House from TikTok. So it has a lot more developer tools in a way that you can just write your custom scripts and it's running on an entity component system. So to use these kind of apps, you definitely have to have some kind of programming experience or be well open to learn coding. While in the two tools before, you can also get away with just some kind of node-based programming, if you want to say so. So what I really like about web AR and what this is extremely well suitable for is if you want to create a simple AR experience that can be shared with anyone, right? So this doesn't require any app, and it also won't require any kind of download. You can just send a link or a QR code, and anyone with a, of course, with a suitable phone or tablet will be able to see this experience. And what people use this for is mostly, I would say, marketing or just small games. So this is, for example, some kind of image tracking that is working here. So it also has this standard world effects, image tracking, face effects, also what you could call like body tracking, AR. And so here are a lot of examples on how people use this in marketing. So I would say that this is a pretty cool tool if you want to just promote some kind of product and maybe attach some kind of game to it. Of course, you would have to do some programming and all of that, but I think it's a pretty awesome tool. And as you can see, it's also possible to build some kind of games. So this is, for example, some kind of Lego Minecraft AR effect here. And yeah, so that's the Eighth Wall Studio. Of course, there are also some disadvantages, and the main thing for web AR is, of course, that it cannot access all the phone's resources and that it's, still running in the browser. And as you can see down here, you'll always have kind of your browser window open. So if you accidentally click that, you might close the experience. And also, of course, the file size, so the size of the overall experience and kind of the depth that you can do with it is definitely more limited than if you would have some kind of app that you've installed that can access all the resources. And of course, you could potentially implement it, but it's more difficult just to save data. So if you want to build some kind of game, if you want to have some kind of inventory, let's say, in your AR experience, then it's of course more difficult to just save kind of the player stats. And here there are also tools within the Eighth Wall Studio to do that. But it's not as easy as just storing things on your device. Let's say if you have some kind of app, right? And then you also have to keep in mind that that Eighth Wall Studio is of course is an engine just like Unity or like Unreal, and it's not just for free. So there's a basic plan that is for free, but as soon as you wanted to do some more commercial products, for example, or you might also want to do some in-app purchasing, for example, then you'll have to actually pay a monthly fee. So this is for marketing. If you want to use this for gaming, there are no prices yet as of the making of this video, but still it's not for free when you want to do something commercially with it. So this is something you keep in mind. But still, if you want to have something that is simple and that you want to distribute to many people, then this would be one great option to go. There's also an alternative, which is Zapper. And it's pretty much comparable, I would say, with what Eighth Wall does. So it's also focused on web AR. Oh, and one more thing to keep in mind here is that Eighth Wall, as well as Zap AR, they actually not only work with phones, but they also do work with, any kind of popular XR headset. So if we take a look at all the possible features here for Niantic Studio, we'll see that you can build fully fledged 3D experiences, AR and VR, that will run in any kind of browser. So either on your PC, on your phone, or on your XR headsets, like for example the Quest 3 or also the Apple Vision Pro. And it does have many of those basic features that any kind of 3D engine would have, such as Unity or Unreal. So you have physics, you have lighting, particles, and of course all the standard features that you would then just expect for XR. So that's quite cool. But of course, again, it has disadvantages in the forms that it cannot fully use the device resources. That is also quite restricted within the size of the effects. And it also doesn't have, as it can't access all the features, it doesn't have all the possible AR features. It doesn't have, for example, live AR meshing and some other stuff. So it's more thought to do some very basic experiences, like very small games, or for example, just product showcases, I would say. So something that is more simple. So the alternative to that is Zapper, which is also focused on web AR, I would say. And it also has this tool called Mattercraft. And this is similar to the Eighth Wall Studio that we've just seen. And it will also allow you to build AR, VR, MR, and 3D. So basically within any browser on your PC, on your phone, or within your XR headset, you'll be able to start those experiences. And it also has basically this web-based engine or editor that you can use to build experiences. So if you are more interested in those web engines, I'd highly recommend to take a look at both and just to see what fits better for your purpose. Zapper has, however, something that's quite cool, and this is the Zapbox. So the Zapbox is this kind of, well, XR headset that works with your phone. So you'll just get, basically you just buy kind of these controllers and these head strap or whatever you want to call it. And then you can put your phone in here and you'll have to basically then build a app for this Zapbox. And this will allow you to create very cheap XR or mainly AR experiences, which is quite cool. You can see it here. I really like this idea of something that's rather lightweight, but at the same time cheap, and has many of the important features that you would expect from some kind of AR headset, such as hand tracking, for example. However, I think that so far you can only build for the Zapbox with Unity. So there's a Unity developer SDK, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future you'll be able to build for the Zapbox even in Mattercraft. So yeah, that's Zap AR. And of course, you could also simply go ahead for Web AR and just build your own, build your own augmented reality engine for web. So for example, there's AR.js, there is A-Frame, and so those tools like Babylon.js, like 3JS, or like A-Frame, they would allow you to build AR experiences and basically an AR, even an AR fully AR web editor for free, because they are mostly open source and community projects, or they are similar like Blender, where people just donate money. And so this would be also quite cool, but of course you'd have to, kind of build this stuff together for yourself, and then you could create your own AR web engine. But this is also something to keep in mind. So if you're some kind of this guy who likes to do this, you could use those frameworks to just create something like Mattercraft or the Eighth Wall editor yourself. All right, so next up, let's talk about Unity. And Unity is the tool that I'm using personally for my projects. It's a fully fleshed, 3D engine that just runs on your PC or Mac. And it has definitely the most depth, and you can definitely build the most advanced augmented reality experiences here, as it can access the full resources of your device. So it doesn't have to go over, let's say, the web framework. And so what's pretty cool about that is that if you want to build some kind of AR app, like a game or some bigger educational experiences, you can use all the nice features that Unity has to offer, and you can build fully cross-platform apps as well. So for example, for your phones and for an XR headsets, But of course, the disadvantage is that it's, well, definitely more complex to build those apps. So for example, Pokemon Go, which is one, I would say, of the most successful AR games of all times. This is built actually with Unity and the Lightship ARDK, which is a plugin for Unity. And so while you can definitely build the most advanced AR applications within Unity, it's also much harder to distribute because you'll have to actually build an application and then distribute it within the App Store or the Play Store. And so this is definitely a lot harder than doing it via the social-centered AR tools or the web AR tools. And so I would say Unity is definitely useful for, that kind of heavy-duty AR apps that are very much in-depth and that would really benefit from those additional features and this additional resources. So Unity has this built-in AR foundation, but it also has a lot of cool plugins and add-ons, for example, like Lightship. So if we just take a look here in the documentation, we have an advanced depth visualization. We have occlusion so that objects kind of, let's see if we can zoom here a bit. So we do have occlusion. So for example, objects can hide behind real objects. We have semantic segmentation, which can just find out the sky, the ground, the walls maybe. We can detect objects. We can do live meshing, which is quite cool. So it's a live 3D representation of your scene with actual geometry. We can then, for example, put textures on this mesh. We have some kind of navigation system here in Works. Then we, of course, have some even more advanced location-based AR where you can download the mesh of a 3D scanned location. So I also already made a tutorial on location-based experience with the Lightship ARDK on my channel so that you can simply put actual 3D objects at real-world locations, then go to this location and basically play the experience. So this is also pretty cool. Again, these features are quite awesome. Of course, you also have shared AR. So this is also something that 8th Wall actually supports. So basically AR multiplayer, which is also very awesome. And so a bunch of more features. And so, of course, you might ask, okay, why Unity? There are also other 3D engines that you could potentially use. In my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, Unity has actually the most AR features and also the most AR plugins and packages that you could find from any kind of 3D engine. So some examples are the X-Real glasses that you might know. So these are basically glasses that look a lot like some sunglasses, but they actually are fully compatible AR headset, that you could say. And even the latest version also has the not only the possibility to watch movies or something, but to actually build fully 3D AR experiences. And so this one, for example, if you want to develop for this, you'll only have a developer SDK for Unity. So for example, this is not available for any other, bigger engine. And then, of course, there are also some other tools like Lightship, which is only available for Unity, and, a lot of cool tools that you can only use within this engine. So this is why I personally chose it. Currently, one disadvantage is, of course, the way that you distribute your AR apps. It's not as fast as web AR or maybe with social media. However, I would guess that in the future we might see some kind of option to publish to web with AR Foundation, with Unity's AR built-in, basically AR tool. But of course, you never can be fully sure about that, but it's just what I would think might happen. All right, so to end this video, I just want to show you a few smaller things. So one is Quick Look, and you might know this from Apple. And this is the way to integrate very simple AR experiences or simply AR 3D objects that you can watch in AR within your website or within your application. And this is also something that could be quite cool for just product marketing or just education, for example. And these tools are all kind of available with ARKit. And this is basically Apple's API, so the kind of interface that they provide to create an AR experiences for iPhone. And Google has the AR Core, which is basically the same thing for Google. And then there are some apps like Adobe Aero, for example, that take Adobe Aero, that take advantage of these APIs, which might let you build AR experiences immediately on your phone. And what I like about these tools is they actually take full advantage of the resources of the phone, because they call these internal APIs. So they basically have this communication with the operating system, but they are still rather lightweight and can be distributed quite easily. So I would say it's kind of a mix in between web augmented reality, so something that you find on a website, but using and utilizing the resources of the actual API that either Apple or Google provide. And this is something I really like. So if you're interested in also some rather simple experiences that might be used for some kind of website or so, then I definitely take a look at Adobe Aero, or simply at Quick Look from Apple, or AR Core from Google. Alright, but that's it for this video. So I hope now you have a little bit of an overview of what kind of AR tools are there and what kind of possibilities are there, what those tools are good for. And I'm very interested to know what kind of AR experiences you are eager to build. So please just write a comment and let's discuss there. Alright, but until then, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.